What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hands-On channel. Just a quick video today. I'm shooting this on my cell phone just to make it quick and easy so that I won't ramble on for too long. But I wanted to go around and show you guys some of the projects we're working on right now. The only reason I'm showing the quail hutch is because several people still ask me about that and ask me how it held up or how it's holding up. And a lot of people had questions about, well, raccoons or possums or something will get in there because the latches. I just designed these latches like this very simply, just a piece of wood and a screw. But so far, nothing has gotten in there, and they even survived what we determined later was a pack of dogs. There's a wild pack of dogs running around my area out here, and we determined that that's what actually broke in and attacked our rabbits and killed our #1 buck, our favorite buck of all time, Pete. And that was a real bummer. But anyway, we're working ahead. We're moving forward. We're down to only using half of the cage here. We've got quail in here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but basically I need to get a new batch of eggs and start over. Some of these died off last year. Most of them, almost everybody, I don't think we lost anyone because of the cold. But sometimes these quail will fight, and if you don't get to them and separate them quick enough, they can peck each other's faces and eyeballs, and it's kind of gross, man. Sorry to go there, but that's the reality of it. If you're going to raise quail, sometimes they're mean to each other, and you have to separate them. And see, we ended up with a mixed bag of quail. Some of them are these Tennessee Reds or something like that, and they're a lot meaner than the Coturnix quail. So we're going to try to get a fresh batch pretty soon. I don't know when. I'll probably just order some eggs online or something. But yeah, over the weekend, my wife and I worked really hard out here trying to kind of just get our garden area ready. As you can see, some of my boxes are falling apart. This is like, I don't know, probably 6 years ago I put these untreated boards up here, and we lined it with plastic, so they will hold up for quite a while, but they're going to get to the point of deterioration where they're looking pretty bad, so we're going to have to do something about that to address that. I've layered pine needles all throughout here. This is mainly so that I don't have to run the push mower over here, because it's a real pain in the butt to run the push mower and the weed eater around all of these different containers. We just added another vertical filing cabinet right there a couple of days ago because these have been so great. I got the best, what are they? Not cayenne, Tabascos. We've been growing Tabascos the last few years, and they reseed every year, and my wife makes the most epic Tabasco sauce I've ever had in my life, and every year that's one of my main things. It helps me get through winter because I like hot and spicy stuff, and this stuff will set you on fire. As you can see, if you follow the videos, this was one of the cages that took a big hit during the dog attack. And sure enough, after looking at the pictures online, someone snapped a picture of about 6 dogs that are running together. They all look like siblings to me, like somebody dumped a whole bunch of pups and they grew up out here or something like that. And someone online was saying that people actually own those dogs and they know where they live, but whenever they've attacked chickens and things like that, the owners of the dogs are like, well, just shoot them. They're just, they're hands-off people. They're just like, well, yeah, they're our dogs, but, we just let them run wild and free. And if they want to come kill your livestock, then that's up to you to just shoot them. Well, the problem is, I don't know if you can see it through all the broken branches and brush, but there's a rooftop right there. There's another one right over there. There's another one right over there. I mean, so I have very few places that I can just whip out a gun and start blasting, okay? It's not like we're living out on 100 acres here. This is the suburbs where we are right now, in case you don't know. But anyway, our rabbits seem to be okay. This girl here seems to be okay. This guy, he's one of the ones that took the worst of it and survived. He's got a foot that he's not putting, see that back foot where it's still missing fur? He's not putting pressure down on that foot. I don't know. I don't know what to do on this guy. I'm worried a little bit because these are wild dogs, or, well, again, I don't know. They're not really wild, but I don't know if they've had like vaccinations and rabies shots and other things like that. So part of me's thinking I need to just put this guy down and not eat him, not do anything. But I may try to breed him. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, look at that. He don't even want to put pressure on it. I feel so bad for him, but I really don't know what to do. I put a tile in there, as you can see, to keep them, to give them some sort of a safety place where they can, get away from whatever's trying to nibble on their feet. It's tragic. I've been thinking of some other ideas too. I haven't had to implement very many. You guys are great. Somebody came in the comments and suggested something very simple but very effective. They said, hey, turn on some talk radio or something where it's human voices talking back and forth, and just leave it playing all night. So I did that. I've got a little radio over here in my red shop, and I turned it on to, it was an FM station, but it was a talk radio station, and I just let it play. Of course, it was politically biased in my favor, so in case anyone heard it, maybe it would help to bring them around, give them the red pill. But as you can see, we haven't done anything with Pete's cage yet. My wife actually had a great idea. She said that we could, she was like, hey, why don't we just flip this thing over upside down, and then you can patch up the top where they ate through it. But this wire on the top up here is much thicker. Now that's obviously so big, it's like 1-inch squares. A rabbit's foot would go through that. So I'd have to lay some rabbit wire, this stuff here. I'd have to lay some of that on top of it, but I could like wire it in and tie it onto there, and then that would become the bottom. Surely a dog can't chew through that, at least not quickly, right? This stuff here, apparently it's soft enough and it's small enough in diameter that if they pinch hard enough on that, they can break the welds loose, which is what actually happened over here. And I'm sure the cage had some wear on it. You can see here where I added this extra layer because it was getting broken and compromised, and I was patching it up over there. So anyway, if you're going to have rabbits and you're going to put them on recommended rabbit wire like I did, you might consider putting some sort of other thicker cage down below it and maybe up the bottom 6 inches. This girl here, she's fine. She didn't get hit at all. It's one of our good mothers here. This is a doe mama Cass, and this is our other first doe. We bought a batch, a trio they call it. We bought Pete, our buck, and these 2 does. These are our original rabbits, and they've bred all of the other ones. And it's about time for us to clear out the hutches, because it's time to do another breeding. Because it's much better, if you're going to eat rabbits, it's much better to eat them when they're young. Just easier to deal with. You can fry them up and stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting ready for another, big planting. My wife said she's going to keep it down to a minimum this year because she knows we're stretched pretty thin. But there are certain things like tomatoes and peppers and, other stuff. She's got asparagus going back here, and there's other stuff that are perennials, I guess they call them, the ones that come back every year. I don't know. I get confused on that every time. It's backwards from the way that you think it is. But anyway, the ones that come back, like she's got green onions over here that come back every year. We had some right here. Oh yeah, there they are. You guys probably saw them and I missed them. I don't know what this is. I think it's sage or something like that. I don't remember, but it comes back. She's more into the gardening side of things. My wife's really smart about this stuff. She knows all of these different plants and, like what their Latin names are and different things like that. She's worked at some different garden centers over the years, so she has a lot of hands-on experience with that. But yeah, we've been busting a hump, man. Let's see if I can stand up on this and get you a shot over here of what's going on. You can see I got vehicles all over the place. My black Chevy over there, it's been running better, but I still don't think it's 100%. I'm still thinking that I'm gonna have to rebuild the TBI. I don't want to. I've got so many other things to do. I don't have time for it, but I'm gonna have to make time for it. But you can see here, you can see all this green grass. Well, not too long ago, you couldn't see that. It was all covered with pine needles. So I've been running that rake that I pull behind my four-wheeler. I did a video on it years ago. It's like a pine straw rake or pine needle rake or something like that. And I've been running that around, raking up the pine needles. In the past, before we owned the 100 acres, we were burning 100% of it. And it was killing me, man. I mean, just breathing that yellow smoke that comes off of those pine needles was getting to me. And so now what we do is we keep some, we put it down on the ground here to keep, to use as mulch and to keep the grass from growing up in here. And it works quite effectively, especially if you layer it on. a couple of inches thick. And then the rest of it we load up in my truck and trailer and take over to the land and spread it out over there, because there are no pine trees over there. You can see the white buffalo and my flatbed Brutus Maximus right there. I need to work on Brutus Maximus. Water pump, tune-up, spark plugs, wires. I bought all that stuff. It's sitting in the box in the seat. It's been sitting there for like over a year, because that's how it goes. You just have to, you know, when you're doing homesteading type stuff, you just have to take it as it comes, because, you know, some storm will come along and set you back a month or whatever. You can only see one of them because the other one is right in front of it blocking it. But I've got two beautiful pear trees that are, I'd say they're probably 5 years old now. And last year, this front one, we got pear off of it, so that was good. We've got our, oh man, what are those things called? Not blackberries. I'm drawing a blank. Mulberry trees. We've got several of those around the yard, and they produce a lot. And that's also actually very good fodder to feed for your rabbits. So right now it's actually perfect. I go out there and I'm wanting to thin that out anyway, because you don't want fruit trees being so dense like that, I'm learning. It keeps them, you know, the thinner they are, I mean, to a point, the thinner they are, the better they're going to do, and the more fruit they're going to produce. And also it lets the sunlight in there, and it keeps them from getting you know, different diseases and bacterias and different things like that. So that's a pretty nice looking mulberry tree right there. We've trimmed it up so I can mow around it. But yeah, we've just got 1,000,001 projects. You can barely see it, but I've got a load right up here that I need to take to the scrap yard. 1,000,000 pallets. And I don't want to let these things sit here and rot away in the sun. I want to build buildings out of them. So, I mean, it's just everything. It's just one thing after another, especially in the springtime, when you're trying to get into homesteading. I've got trees to trim. This one here is a real bad one. What is that? I'm wanting to say it's an ash, but it's not an ash. Elm. That's an elm tree, and they're pretty soft. And it used to go like this, and all of that other side broke off during an ice storm. This side hangs over my fence back here, and in the past, branches have fallen off and knocked over my fence and made it to where I had to rebuild the fence. But anyway, I need to get my limb saw, and since that's so high up there, believe it or not, that's probably 25 feet up there. It's higher than my limb saw can reach, so I'll probably have to pull my tractor back over here in this. That's a little ditch that I've left back there, so water will flow. I'll have to pull my tractor back here and maybe have my wife run me up in the bucket, or I may have to run her up in the bucket, but I don't know that she can lift the limb saw. But it's going to be a bucket, a limb saw, and a dude that's scared of heights probably, and a lady that doesn't really, not really comfortable on operating a tractor. Sounds like a trip to, you know, Appalachian ER to me, or something like that. So anyway, looks kind of messy, because it is. We've got 1,000,001 projects going on. You see that skylight? For now, I've had to put that cement mixer that my buddy gave me back there under some really heavy plastic, because I'm out of place. I'm out of room. I have no more room to store anything inside. My shops are all completely stuffed. They're completely trashed right now, because I've been doing so many projects, from water line repairs to other plumbing related to the bathroom remodel that I was doing, and I'm still doing, actually, the concrete countertops. That was just one phase of it. So whew, I know that's a lot. And the video's already about 5 minutes longer than I expected it to be. But as I started thinking about it, I'm like, man, I need a vacation from this. And that's one of the things you rarely ever get as a homesteader. It's just go, 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 go. And you got to be willing to do that. But I do think it's worth it. You know, I enjoy doing a lot of projects and getting things knocked off my list. It's just, you know, sometimes it's harder than others, and sometimes you get more done than other times, depending on how you're feeling. And of course, the older you get, the harder it is. Oh, here's another project that popped up yesterday. I was using this to move sticks and limbs and to bring pine needles over here. And as I'm going along, this is the trailer that I built, I don't know, 5 years ago, I guess, to pull behind my four-wheeler and my lawnmower. Well, I had it hooked up to my lawnmower, and I was pulling it in here to turn around right here or something. And all of a sudden I hear this big clunk, and I felt something like all of a sudden I had a drag on the back. Well, the weld on this Harbor Freight wheel, hopefully you can see that. It's supposed to be welded onto the center shaft there, but the wheel fell completely off. So I'm gonna have, that's another project, but I'm glad I know how to weld. See, that's one of those things that in the past, something like this would have just cost me money. I'd have just been like, well, I guess I got to go to Harbor Freight and buy another cheapo wheel, and it'll probably do the same thing after a certain amount of time, because I just noticed something about these wheels. I thought they were heavier duty, and it says 400-pound weight rating right there. I didn't have hardly any weight in this thing, and it broke off. But I noticed that the outside of these are not welded at all. All the weld was done on the inside. So I'm going to have to line that up perfectly so that it'll be straight, and then re-weld that on the inside and the outside. So, but welding, man, that's a great skill to have. I built that entire thing. So as bad as it was and kind of annoying as it was, I immediately thought, no matter what it is, I can fix it, because I made the original one. I can build it. You know, I can make it stronger. I can make it better, whatever. Come here, Chloe. People have been asking about you. A few people asked me about Chloe and how she's doing. Sit. There's my girl. There's my girl. She's turning into a pretty good dog. Sit down. Sit down. Good girl. That's my Chloe girl. That's my Chloe girl. How you doing today? You want to say hi to the camera? Oh, yeah. That's my girl. She's turning into a pretty good pup for the most part. She loves to play. She loves to chase. Since I'm talking all about her, she wants to jump up on me, and like she's doing better about that, not scratching me. She just jumps straight up and stands up a little bit, but it scares you and makes you wince every time. And yeah, you can see I've got rabbit manure all over because I've been spreading it all around. It was one of the jobs I did yesterday or the day before. When I broke the wheel, I was dragging rabbit manure all over the yard and spreading it around. You know, I see my neighbors, they're going out and buying that green stuff like crazy and spraying their yard with that green chemical. But I think I'd rather have the rabbit manure. The only thing is when you got a dog like Chloe here, she likes to lay around in it. It doesn't bother her at all. It's probably like a marble bed to her. But yeah, that stuff, it dissolves in once you mow and walk around on it for a while. And rabbit manure does not stick to your feet like dog crap or something. So guys, I think that's going to do it for today. Appreciate you tuning in. Let me know what you guys got going on your homestead. This is just scratching the surface. I've got probably I mean, I don't know, I can think of about 20 more things I could tell you about that are on the back burner right now, but I don't want to bore you. And if you stay tuned to the channel, you'll probably eventually see me working on all those different things. So anyway, appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're having a wonderful spring. It always rejuvenates me and revitalizes me. So as bad as it is to be facing this mountain of work to do, I feel pretty good about it. And even though, you know, I'm a 49-year-old man, I'm still getting around good enough that, you know, I can ride a wheelie on a motorcycle. I can jump it. I can, you know, I can have fun and ride four-wheelers and, you know, shoot guns and all the fun things. So, you know, I'm not completely useless. And we're going to get out here and try to survive, try to thrive, you know, do the best we can. Hope you're doing well out there. Hit me up in the comments. We'll continue the conversation. Until then, we'll see you next time.